Have you ever sat down to do something important, only to find yourself checking your phone 2 minutes later for no apparent reason? You didn't plan on opening that app, and you certainly didn't mean to scroll for 45 minutes. Yet, like clockwork, your hand reached for the screen almost entirely on autopilot. If you think this happens because you lack willpower or discipline, I have good news for you. You are not lazy. What you are experiencing is a hostile takeover of your brain's evolutionary hardware. Today, we are going to unpack the exact neurochemical loop driving your constant need for distraction. More importantly, you are going to learn a simple, practical system to outsmart that loop and reclaim your focus once and for all. To understand why your attention is constantly under siege, we need to talk about a single neurochemical: dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the chemical of pleasure, the high you feel when you achieve a goal or eat something delicious. But neuroscience tells us a very different story. Dopamine isn't about pleasure, it's about anticipation. It is the chemical of desire, driving your motivation, search, and exploration behaviors. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, this mechanism was essential for human survival. When your ancestors searched for food, water, or shelter, a spike in dopamine pushed them to keep searching over the next hill. Every unexpected reward, a bush filled with fresh berries or a stream of clean water, triggered a dopamine burst. That burst effectively wired the brain to repeat the exact same search behavior in the future. Your brain evolved to love novelty and unpredictable rewards because, back then, novelty meant staying alive. Now, pause and think about the modern world for a second. Every time you refresh a social media feed, open your email, or check a messaging app, what are you doing? You are foraging. You are looking over a digital hill, completely unsure of what you will find on the other side. Sometimes you find an uninteresting post, which gives you almost no reward. But every once in a while, you hit the jackpot. A funny video, a fascinating headline, or a message from someone special. That unpredictable, variable reward schedule is the exact same mechanism engineered into slot machines to keep people gambling for hours. Tech companies spend billions of dollars leveraging this exact biological loop to capture your attention. They have effectively built a digital ecosystem that hijacks your primitive desire for novelty. When you constantly feed your brain high dopamine inputs, something dangerous happens to your baseline neurochemistry. Your brain seeks homeostasis, meaning it constantly strives for internal balance. When flooded with constant artificial spikes of dopamine, your brain adapts by down-regulating its natural dopamine receptors. In plain English, your brain turns down the volume because the environment is simply too loud. This elevated baseline creates a major issue when you sit down to tackle meaningful, hard work. Writing a report, reading a textbook, or solving a complex problem offers low, slow, and delayed dopamine rewards. Compared to the instant, hyper-stimulating rewards of your smartphone, deep work feels physically painful and unutterably boring. Your brain panics at the sudden drop in stimulation and aggressively craves a quick fix. That intense urge you feel to check your phone isn't a lack of character. It is a literal chemical withdrawal symptom. But here is the critical insight. You are not helpless against your own biology. You cannot rewrite thousands of years of human evolution, but you can redesign the environment that triggers it. Lean in for a second, because this next concept will fundamentally shift how you approach focus. You don't need more willpower to concentrate. You simply need to raise the friction required to get distracted. Willpower is like a battery that depletes continuously throughout the day as you make decisions. If you rely solely on willpower to resist your phone, you will almost always lose by late afternoon. Instead of fighting your dopamine loop with sheer effort, you can manipulate the loop to work for you. Step 1 is to radically eliminate high dopamine triggers from your immediate visual field. Put your phone in another room. Turn off all desktop notifications and close every browser tab not related to the task at hand. If getting distracted requires you to stand up, walk across the room, and open a drawer, you break the friction threshold. That tiny added physical effort gives your prefrontal cortex enough time to step in and stop the impulse. Step 2 is to deliberately resensitize your brain to lower levels of dopamine. You do this by intentionally building periods of absolute boredom back into your daily routine. Stop checking your phone while standing in line, waiting for an elevator, or commuting on public transit. Allow your mind to wander, observe your surroundings, and get comfortable with empty, unstimulated space. When you allow your brain to rest without hyperstimulation, your dopamine receptors gradually recalibrate. Over time, activities that previously felt dull, like reading or continuous problem-solving, become deeply engaging again. Step 3 is to harness the power of micro-rewards to make focus genuinely satisfying. Break your deep work sessions down into focused intervals, using methods like the Pomodoro technique. Commit to 25 minutes of absolute, unbroken focus on a single task. Tell yourself that once those 25 minutes are complete, you have earned an intentional 5-minute break. By doing this, you link dopamine release to the completion of focus rather than the act of distraction. You train your brain to anticipate the reward after the effort, effectively rewiring your internal drive. Take a deep breath and realize where you are right now. You are no longer operating in the dark, wondering why staying focused feels like an uphill battle. You now possess the exact blueprint to take back control of your attention. Focus is not an innate talent reserved for a lucky few. It is a trainable skill. Starting today, stop treating your attention as a free resource for the world to grab. Treat your focus like your most valuable currency, because where your attention goes, your life follows. Start small right now by putting your phone in another room for your very next work session. Reclaim your environment, reset your brain's dopamine baseline, and step into the deep, effortless focus you are truly capable of achieving.